Hey Gossip Ghouls, welcome to the Hot Ghouls Club, and if you love true crime and creepy cases, tap follow so you never miss an episode. As always, I'm your host Jamie.
And I'm Tara.
So the other day I had an actual hard-fledged panic attack.
Why?
So the res has these things that they were giving out for free, and my dad grabs one, and it
No.
it was a spray that you would put under your tongue, and it was THC.
No.
And I did it. I just did it without thinking. I looked at it. My dad was like, "Hey, look what they gave you or whatever." And I was like looking at it, and I was like, "Oh, okay, whatever." And I was like, shh. I had the worst fucking time.
The reservations in Mastic?
Yeah.
No.
That was terrible.
We don't do that.
I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I called my dad. I was like, I am freaking out, man. Like,
Man.
I was trying to keep like a light touch to it, but like inside, I was like
Heart pounding.
Heart pounding.
You could hear it in your ears.
My adrenal glands were just going. And
but like you're just sitting there. But you feel like you're getting chased by a lion.
I swear to God, I was about to get hit by a fucking tornado.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and we're on Long Island. Like, I just
Full panic.
Full panic. And then I call my dad, and he's like trying to help talk me down. Ralph was kind of trying to talk me down, but he's mostly like, oh, well, this is, I get this for like years. Like, ugh. I'm like, that's not helpful.
Years.
That's
all right,
helpful.
drama queen.
Truly. So,
can't let you have your moment.
No.
That's what it is.
That's what it was, and it pissed me off too. Mm-hmm. And I was like, not only that, but I had got my tooth fucking out the other day too.
Yes, you
did.
I
had a wisdom tooth out, and I didn't even have my whole moment that day either. I was fucking doing dishes.
No, I would have been in the bed the entire day.
I was pissed.
I would have been laid out.
Absolutely.
I'd have been like, I went through surgery.
I've said that so many times. Oral surgery. I went to a surgeon. Okay, my dentist didn't do it. A surgeon did it.
The fuck my dentist did,
which is bullshit. So I guess some dentists can and some dentists
can,
and
some dentists can't.
I think it also depends on the tooth, which is dramatic in itself. But so my body already went through a whole bunch of fucking shit, and then now I'm tripping balls from this fucking little tiny. It's like
a little spray, a little Listerine spray,
2-inch size, like breath mints. It tasted like WD fucking 40.
You just sprayed
immediately
straight gasoline into your mouth. That's horrible.
Like, you knew something was wrong right away.
Yeah, maybe stay away from that.
I will.
Definitely stay away from free samples at the reservations.
Oh, for sure. Like, don't be like me, kids.
No.
Because that was awful. I haven't had a panic attack like that in like years.
I don't know if I've ever had a full panic attack.
Oh, it's so bad.
Yeah.
It's so bad when it happens.
I think I had one, and my mom gave me a Xanax, and then I was fine.
I had a Xanax.
I was in college.
I literally, whenever I actually asked Ralph, I was like, do you have any more of those Xanaxes? He said no. Bitch.
When was this? On Saturday?
I think so.
So you had a great Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, it was or was it Friday?
No.
I can't even remember. No, because we had our D&D.
I think we were together on Friday night.
Yeah, no, so it was Saturday.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you had a great Labor Day weekend.
Loved it. It was so amazing.
Happy Labor Day weekend to everybody. Jamie had the best Labor Day weekend of her life.
Jesus fucking
And she had to
Christ.
recover on Sunday and Monday.
And Tuesday. Dude, I forgot how bad it like spends your body after you have a like panic attack like that. Like after it,
yeah.
I was
your muscles are probably so tense.
Everything
It's so horrible.
Yeah, and then you're just mentally like wiped. Like
you're
have
wiped.
Nothing left to give.
No, I totally get it. I was hungover from alcohol on Sunday.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because I went out with the kids. Kevin's sister turned 21. They could not hang. It was so cute.
They couldn't?
No, they could. They all lasted, but they didn't realize how drunk they were. Like, and they got pretty lit.
Yeah, that's
but they
great.
had a
I
good
love
time.
that.
It was her and her boyfriend's like First time. Well, they went out the night before because then at midnight she turned 21. But then we went out with them. And we were only going to stay like an hour or two. And they were like, we want you to stay the whole time. And it was really just 4 of us because half of their friends that were out there didn't even have real IDs. So...
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah, but all the way in Greenport. But it was a good time.
I hated that. I was in that life a little bit because me and Brett's, our birthday is...
After everybody else's?
Before.
Oh, it's before, so you can go out. I was 21 in college, so like everybody just drank like on campus.
Yeah, that's not too much of a thing because we were at homers. We were Suffolk Community College, so we were at home.
Yeah, it was just like drugs or alcohol or whatever the fuck we could find on campus.
Truly,
it was like a safe space. Well, speaking of safe spaces, welcome back to the Hot Ghouls Club.
Welcome back to the Hot Ghouls Club. I'm your host, Jamie.
I'm Tara, and we have another long form episode for you.
And today, it's actually going to be Tara's turn.
Oh, it is. I was like, what's happening today? I like panicked. It is going to be my turn. It's been a while since I've done a case, and this is, I went through many cases. I even was telling you, Jamie, I found something else that like I had taken so many notes on, but I'm going to do a deeper dive on it.
She really did go through like a whole thing. Like you were really fine tuning what you wanted to go over today.
Yes. And then I found something else and I was like, this is a little bit more appropriate. I guess we're getting into the spooky season. In my opinion, spooky season has started as of yesterday.
To the Burr months.
Welcome to the Burr months. It's the best months of the year. Obviously, we're the Hot Ghouls. We love everything Halloween, everything spooky, ooky. So we're definitely going to do a lot of like different types of cases over the next 2 months. Yeah. We want to do like scary stories or more like creepy alien encounters or like weird stuff, like more Halloween, not always just murder.
Yeah.
But we are going to start off with some murder.
Yes. I mean, what's the best way to start off a spooky season if not with a little bit of murder?
A little bit of murder.
A little bit of murder.
I'm going to be doing the case of Cassie Jo Stoddart. She was a 16-year-old in Pocatello, Idaho, who was brutally murdered. But to tell her story, I'm going to start on the day that her body was actually discovered, which was Sunday, September 24th, 2006.
The day before my birthday.
And it was September, too.
Ooh, I'm loving the theme.
Frank and Allison Contreras, along with their 13-year-old niece and son, arrived home after a family weekend getaway. Frank's niece walked into the house first, and what she found would change everything. Inside, she came upon her cousin's lifeless, bloodied body.
Oh, my God.
And just a side note on this, there's actually an article from, I think it might be 2016, of her uncle Frank kind of like talking to a reporter saying how it has so completely traumatized their family what happened in this house. They each have such horrible like sufferings of PTSD and anxiety and paranoia for what happened like while they were home. While they weren't home, and they at that point they had been trying to sell the house every year for like almost 10 years. That's what it was, 2016, because it was 10 years and nobody would buy it. So they're like, they were even just like asking they have to pay off the mortgage. They just have such bad just I don't know how to describe it. It just is so traumatizing for them to live there.
Yeah, it's just a really terrible attachment that they have to the house.
Terrible.
And they're like stuck with it.
So Cassie Jo Stoddart had been house sitting and pet sitting for the family that weekend, and what should have been a normal teenage job turned into a nightmare. Cassie's life was cut short by 2 of her classmates who carried out a horrific fantasy they've been plotting for months.
Yeah, I've heard of this.
So before we get into the gruesome details of that night, let's talk about who Cassie was and who the so-called friends were that betrayed her. So Cassie Jo Stoddart was a 16-year-old junior at Pocatello High School in Pocatello, Idaho. It's a cute name.
I do like that.
She was mature, responsible, and well-liked. She was the kind of person others trusted to house sit or even babysit their kids. She got good grades, had a solid group of friends, and had been dating her boyfriend, Matt Beckham, for about 5 months at the time of her murder. And in a Dateline episode, one of her classmates, Justin, I don't remember his last name, remembered how Cassie was always kind. She would laugh at his dumb jokes, even when no one else did. He even recalled the last time he saw her, which was the Friday before her body was found. She was wearing a green tank top, a white zip-up jacket with green trim, and jeans, and her long dark hair had been like straightened down. very
early
2006.
Yeah.
Like, let me tell you, it looked like almost like a terry cloth material, white zip up.
Absolutely.
The green tank and the green trim match each other perfectly.
Iconic.
And in that same Dateline episode, there's clips from an interview her mother had done.
Yeah.
And her mother says, like, I think she said she had dropped her off at school that day, and she's like, I remember her in that like top, and it's her school photos in the back, and she's wearing that.
Oh,
which
that's
is so
amazing.
funny because it's like, you know, when you just have that one thing you love so much,
and you just keep picking it up,
I had somebody
like a sweatshirt. It was unfortunate.
Somebody told me once, like, if you really like something, you should buy it 2 of them because like they go bad or whatever. I remember I had this one, like, totally never would wear it again. It was like this white almost like sweatshirt material shirt that was white with black sleeves, and it was like cut in the back.
I have that. I had
something
that
on the
for sure.
It was crazy. It was probably from Rainbow. Sorry. So Cassie was the middle child of 3. She had an older sister, Christy, and her younger brother, Andrew. Her and Andrew were only a year and a half apart. So when Andrew spoke for the first time publicly in 2016, he remembered Cassie as his role model and describing how his world came crashing down when his stepdad told him the news of her murder.
Oh my gosh.
He shared how close they were, how they did everything together, and how their mom still treasures some of Cassie's old drawings because she was artistic and creative.
Aww.
Cassie would have had her whole life ahead of her. Instead, her story collided with 2 classmates who thought killing someone would make them famous.
Yeah, those guys are fucking assholes.
So her murderers were 16-year-old Brian Draper and Tori Adamsick. They were both 16. Let's just say up front, these are
so
pieces of shit.
It's crazy to me. Like, somebody that's like, because that's still so young. It's like, what the fuck? How do you think like that? And like, oh my God. I'll let you get into it.
Yeah, because I think in that particular time in, I guess, the world, there was a couple of other things that were also being potentially idolized by people, which I'll talk about. And, you know, there was, I don't know. I just think I have no excuses for them. I actually don't feel that either of them are remorseful. Even though Brian has, like, he actually, like, did speak to the guy who was doing Dateline and said how he regrets it and all this stuff. But honestly, I don't know. I'm, like, torn on if Brian is remorseful, but Tori definitely fucking isn't.
No, yeah, not at all.
So Brian Draper was born in Sandy, Utah. Raised Mormon, and he was born in March 1990. But him and his family later moved to Idaho, where he moved to Pocatello, Idaho, and went to Pocatello High School. He has been known to say that his childhood was normal, but, you know, raised mostly by his mom, as his dad didn't seem to be really around.
Interesting.
So no abuse, no like big traumatic backstory. He didn't have any prior convictions with the law or any run-ins with police officers, nothing like that. But he did have an obsession with the Columbine shooters, Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold.
What a terrible obsession.
What a terrible obsession. And it was like,
my brother looks exactly like
I was wondering if you were going to say that. It's eerie. I can't remember which one it is, but
me neither. It's like
it's actually scary.
One. Yeah, it's no, like,
I was like, are we sure?
It's identical.
No, it's identical.
It's crazy.
Like, if we got his DNA and your and Brett's DNA, like, it would have to be the same. Like, in terms of like where in the world you're from, you know?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be surprised if we're matched in lineage somewhere. Because
no, it's shocking.
Like doppelganger.
No, like when he said it, and we were like, yeah, I'm sure. And then you like, did you pull up the photo?
Yeah, I pulled up the photo.
Died. I was dying. It was horrible.
It's not funny. It's a little funny, but it's like,
no, it's totally a little funny. But it's scary
because of how much he looks like him. It's insane. I've never never seen a picture of him looking so much like
it's him, but it wasn't him.
It's him, but it wasn't. Exactly.
Allegedly.
He doesn't even look that much like my dad. Like, you know what I mean? Like somebody that we're
directly. He doesn't even look like that much like you. No, and you're his twin.
I'm his twin. If somebody said that he was twins to the Columbine killer, they'd be like, oh, I see it. Yeah,
or if that was like his older brother or anything. Even twin. Absolutely. You're right. Twin.
Anybody. Twin.
So anyway, going back to douchebag Brian Draper, he idolized these 2 guys, calling them like the heroes for the losers, which was total bullshit. They weren't heroes. They weren't outcasts. They were entitled kids.
No, because not for nothing, people that do that are actually, they're so fucking selfish.
They're so selfish.
It's just like, okay, I get that you were bullied and I get you didn't have the support system, but that does not give you the right at all for any circumstance to take anybody's lives. And talking about this, I guess we can also bring in the what was it? The Wisconsin murders, the Wisconsin shooting, the Minneapolis shooting that just happened
In a church?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's.
I mean, there's so many in America. Like it's constant having mass shootings.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what's like kind of important about the Columbine shootings is, I mean, it's like such a turning point for, I mean, honestly, it's like that. School shootings didn't happen for a long time after Columbine, not like a really long time, but another 15 to like 16 years. Like it was when we were outside of high school at least.
Yeah.
But I do remember like they kind of made it seem like they had no friends and like that's why they did this and they were bullied. But it actually came out that they did have friends. They knew people in the school. Like they weren't these like lonely losers they potentially or the media portrayed them to be. Like they weren't like the voice for the guy that's getting trod like you know stepped on and stuff like that. Like they were just like attention seeking little pieces of shits.
And I also so think it's so they have a support system. Like it's not like they don't have almost I have not found that somebody that goes to school that you know is bullied or going through that kind of thing that they don't have a support system, because there's always usually at least one friend or at least one somebody, you know, and that's all it really needs. I didn't have like super close people when I was in school. Like I had a lot of school friends. I had a lot less actual friends outside of school, and it took me until I was about
well, men are much more vulnerable, fragile, as we know this.
Oh,
they're fragile,
so
fragile
true.
beings.
They are very
Did you ever do
yeah.
Rachel's challenge?
What's that?
So when I was in middle school, a girl, I can't remember what her last name was, but her name was Rachel, and she died in the Columbine shooting. She was shot by one of the assholes. And something that's like really weird about her story is like she had drawn a few like drawings before, either the day of that it happened or like right before, and she drew this like rose that had like 11 tears falling down, and like 11 kids died that day. It was freaky.
That is really
but
freaky.
The thing about Rachel that everybody remembered was she was really kind. She actually was really kind to Eric and Dylan. She had talked to them. She was like friendly with them, all this stuff. And like, so when it was kind of going around that it was essentially that like nobody talked to them or it was this or it's that, they kind of put the onus back on the kids. It was like, so you guys have to make sure you're not leaving anybody out. Cause like, do you want this to happen to you?
That's crazy.
And so we had this thing called Rachel's Challenge where you were, I mean, I'm sure it was well intentioned by the parents because they never wanted to see this happen again. Her parents ran it. But at the same time, what's happening here, obviously I love that parents are being held accountable for this shit now.
Okay. Oh no, I agree.
100%.
I couldn't agree more. I think that should have been that
from the get from the jump. But anyway,
ago.
For Rachel's challenge, they were like, you have to like include people, whatever. And I just remember me and my group of friends in like 7th or 8th grade, like we would be like, okay, who's sitting by themselves at lunch? Like we cannot be the fucking target. So we would go sit with people that wanted nothing to fucking do with us. You know what I mean? They were like,
That's how we became friends with DJ. He was not by Rachel's challenge. Not by Rachel's challenge, but because I think he was sitting by himself.
I'm sick.
And we, like, Brett saw that, and I think Brett knew of him. Like, I don't think that they were, like, super... I think they were like acquaintances. They weren't friends yet. And then we just like jumped on his table, and like from then we've been friends ever since.
That's crazy. I have not made any lasting friendships that way. Because we would kind of be like, all right, next kid who's alone. You know what I mean? So.
All right, you're fine here. You're good. We're good. Okay.
So, yeah. Men grow up and stop being little bitches. Anyway, last thing about Brian Draper is he had a noticeable stutter, which shows up even in the transcripts of the recordings he and Tori made. Because I read the transcripts of the recordings they found.
Yeah. And
then Tori Adamsick, there's like barely anything that I can find online about him except that he was born in June 1990 and he was born and raised and grew up in Pocatello. And if Draper was obsessed with Columbine, Tori was obsessed with horror movies. He fancied himself a future filmmaker, and his favorite genre was slasher horror. Oh, yeah. Listen, I'm a girl who loves horror.
Yeah, you are.
Through
and through.
Thank you. It is. I'm going to see The Conjuring on Thursday.
Yeah. Oh, are you?
Yeah. Everybody's like telling me, they're like, I don't really like The Conjuring. I'm like, I actually don't care.
Yeah, they said that this one's supposed to be like
love,
like amazing. Like,
it better be fucking amazing because the last one was fucking trash.
And it's supposed to be like really close to the Warrens' heart, and like it was like their last thing that they did, or the last shtick or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really care about that. But I like the story behind it. The Warrens are frauds. We definitely should do the Warrens one day.
We absolutely should do the Warrens.
But I just love the story. I love a good exorcism. I love a good Catholic horror movie. I love a found footage. Don't get me started on a found footage.
Dude, a found footage? Amazing.
It's the scariest
10 out of 10.
like type of film you can, because it
just feels so real.
It's so real. And you want to know something even stupider?
What?
When I was in high school, so a few years after the Blair Witch Project came out,
Love the Blair Witch.
Had never really heard about it. Like, I had liked Tarb when I was younger, and then I don't think I really liked it like in middle and high school. But right before I went to college, I watched the Blair Witch Project with a few kids in school. Yeah. I didn't know it was fake.
Oh my God, yeah.
At the end, I was like,
a little bit to know it was fake.
I'm like, am I watching somebody die right now?
Yeah.
I'm like looking around and I'm like, I can't be friends with these fucking people.
No.
I was like, this is the shit that they watched. And I'm like,
you guys are okay with
and
this?
then they were like, I think like the fact that I thought it was real is what made me love it. Like so much at the end when they told me it was fake, I was like, that was the best thing I've ever fucking seen in my life.
We used to go Blair Witching. So like we knew it back in high school, we would do it.
Phenomenal.
And yeah, we would go to campsites. We did Indian Island. We did Cedar Point. We did like all those different places. And at night, when everything went pitch dark, we would go out and we would explore the entire campground. And we would call it Blair Witching. And my one friend, Becca,
we must go.
It was fun. I would do it again. She was absolutely insane. Okay, pitch black. We're in the woods. We're walking down this. It's like a little road, but it's it's not paved. It's just dirt. It's whatever. Trees on either side of you. Dense brush. And we're talking. We're all having a fun time. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, wait a second. Where's Becca?
Amazing.
She's gone. Like she's not here. She's not with us. And we all stop what we're doing. It's me, Brett, AJ, and Becca. And we all stop what we're doing. We start looking around. And we're like, wait, what? Wait, like no, really, where the fuck is she? We don't see her. Like there's not a single person. The moonlight, you could barely even see. So you're looking around, and then all of a sudden you hear, ah! And she screams at the top of her lungs, and like she muffles a hard scream, like a terrifying scream.
Okay.
And it was, we shat our pants. This is a good part.
Okay, so she screamed bloody murder.
Yeah, it was bloody murder. So it's like she did not stifle her scream. She just put it directly into her fucking hand. So it like just
echoed.
She was like, Woo! But like beautiful, like not like that. I squealed like a little piggy. She did it like she was actually being brutally murdered. So then,
my God, that's like mean and amazing.
Yeah. So then we all freak out. We like jolt to see where the fucking noise is coming from. I get whacked in the head by a fucking walking stick because AJ got so fucking scared. He jumped out. I'm like,
she's assaulting you guys now. Amazing.
But that was it. No, she just scared the fuck out of us because we were going
so
Blair
funny.
Witching. And the whole point was to like scare ourselves and freak ourselves out, and she did it.
Okay, there are some places on Long Island that I've been wanting to go that I heard about in high school. We'll talk about it after. Let's do it. All right. Sorry, we've digressed.
Back to it as usual.
So much. So let's talk about the partnership that Draper and Adamsick had together.
Yeah.
So when Draper moved to Pocatello, the two became fast friends. They were inseparable and they recorded everything. I do just want to make one note is that everybody was like, they were best friends. They were like, blah, blah, blah. They knew each other for like a year. Okay. Like everybody calmed the fuck down.
Yeah.
It was hot and fast. You know what I mean? Twin flames.
Yeah.
They carried around a little camcorder, filming themselves walking around school, driving, even just ranting about their lives. But here's the kicker. Those recordings are basically a confession tape. They literally filmed themselves plotting Cassie's murder like it was a script in their twisted horror movie. And spoiler, those tapes would be the reason that they were caught so quickly and sentenced to life without parole.
Like, how fucking stupid can you be?
So stupid. So before we get into the night in question, let's talk a little bit about what happened leading up to the murder. So it's very clear from everything that I found that this was a premeditated crime. Yeah. Like through and through. Like,
absolutely.
Truly premeditated.
Like, I think they did it for like weeks.
And in their minds, I feel years. So Draper and Adamsick weren't just messing around. They had been talking for months about horrific things like mass shootings, killing classmates, and staging their own horror movie. And the script they wanted to follow, one of the most famous horror movies of all time, Scream. So for those of you that don't know, Scream, released in 1996, is directed by Wes Craven, is the slasher that basically revived the horror genre at the time when people thought it was dead. The movie follows Sidney Prescott and a high schooler The movie follows Sidney Prescott, a high schooler in the town of Woodsboro, who becomes the target of a masked killer called Ghostface. What made Scream stand out was its self-awareness. The characters actually knew horror tropes and joked about them, all while still getting picked off one by one. So this was definitely like, like a game changer. And obviously somebody like Tori Adamsick would, he was probably like the guy in Scream that was like obsessed with the horror movies that eventually died.
Yeah.
But like, that's what I was almost kind of saying, like in that time, like it was a decade after Scream, I think, came out. Columbine had happened in 99. Like it was just
almost like the perfect
so
equation.
much. Yeah. Not that I'm in no way, shape, or form blaming horror movies.
Yeah.
Or anything like that to like actually give them inspiration. Like you said, how much of a loser can you be to not even come up with your own fucking plot?
Yeah.
And to just copy a horror movie that's making fun of horror movies. Like you're completely defeating the purpose.
Perfect. That one.
Like that, you're right. That is what Wes Craven wanted you to do.
Yeah.
Idiot.
Yeah.
So Draper and Adamsick, they wanted to be the killers from the movie, Billy Loomis and Stu Macher.
Could never.
And I just want to say, remember the very ending of Scream when they're like stabbing themselves?
Yeah.
I always get the ick.
Absolutely.
Always
every time. Every fucking
ick.
time.
And
I couldn't understand it.
Billy Loomis, like
love,
up until
love,
the point.
love.
And I'm like,
love.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole thing, like him during that like era of his life, amazing.
Skeet Ulrich.
Absolutely.
Love of my life. Love of my life. I love the image of him licking the pig's blood off of his fingers.
But yeah, no, it's I lost my train of thought.
Okay. So about a month before Cassie's murder, Draper and Adamsick convinced an 18-year-old classmate, I saw his name but I didn't put it down, to buy them knives at a pawn shop. So Draper paid for them. He had taken money out of an ATM and gave him $40, and they walked out with 4 new weapons. I believe Draper picked out 3 of the weapons and Adamsick picked out 1, which makes sense because Draper paid for it.
Okay.
And the night before the murder, so Thursday night, they filmed themselves driving around Pocatello looking for a victim.
Yeah.
In transcripts from Draper's 2011 appeal, there are references to a Jane Doe 1 and a Jane Doe 2. Other classmates they stalked that night to see who was home alone. Eventually, they would land on Cassie. On the recording, while laughing, they said Cassie and her friends would be the victims. They knew she was house sitting that weekend at her uncle's place. Or at least it seemed like they knew. It was like in the transcripts, they were like...
Yeah, I feel like they had a conversation or something at school.
No, yeah, they did. I'll get into that. But in the car, they had a conversation about how Cassie and Matt were at their house and it was empty. And he was like, no, it's Cassie's house. And maybe they were like referring to her uncle's house. It was in this place called Whispering Cliffs, which is a town, like a... whatever in Pocatello, so it was a small town.
Okay, yeah.
So, let's start with the weekend. So, on the morning of Friday, September 26, 2006, did I say that right?
September 26th?
No. On the morning of Friday, September 22nd, 2006. Yes. I knew there was too many lists. Cassie's mom dropped her off at school. Later that day, she would also drive Cassie and her boyfriend, Matt Beckham, to her uncle's house where Cassie would be house sitting. Okay. And that was the last time her mother would see her alive. So Cassie also invited Draper and Adamsick over. Like, because they were friends with Matt.
Yeah.
She invited them to hang out.
That's crazy.
Like, they had
to
friends.
Be friendly, yeah.
No, they were friends.
Yeah.
And the 4 of them settled in around 6:37. That's when it said Adamsick and Draper got there, and they started watching Kill Bill 2. And I didn't see it in the transcript, but I always remember like they didn't finish Kill Bill for some reason. But anyway, at some point, one of the boys said he had to leave, and then the 2 of them left the house. But they didn't really leave. Instead, they parked a few houses down, waiting for their chance. And earlier that evening, when Draper and Adamsick were in the house, Draper went and unlocked one of the back doors so they could sneak in easily.
Oh my God.
Talk about premeditated.
Truly.
You bought the fucking knives almost a month earlier.
Yep.
You drove around the night before looking for a victim, and they would they were saying, oh, if this one's
videotaping the whole
fucking thing. They're like, if she's home with her parents, or if she's home alone, we'll go in. And then he even said something like Jane Doe 2 or something is home from 6 to 7. Home alone from 6 to 7. We'll kill her, and then we'll go kill Cassie.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. And it was such a weird, like, I remember watching their videos and, like, when they were talking and doing their back and forths.
Yes.
You could tell that they were role playing. Like, they were trying to sound just like the guys from Scream, yeah.
Yeah, so,
Like, it's not like nobody talks in those inflections, and they were using a weird inflection.
It was very weird. And in the transcripts, they say the dumbest shit. Like, they have a conversation about evil, if it's actually derived from God or not, and Satan, but God's not real. And it's just them going back and forth. And also, like, they're like, somebody's like, oh, we're gonna kill Cassie one by one, and he's like, why can't we just kill him like a slaughterhouse? And he goes, we have to be classy, 1 by 1, 2 by 2, 3 by 3. That doesn't make any sense.
No, it's so stupid. It's really
so
like,
stupid.
It would be, if that was in Scream, that would be another time I would get the ick. Why are you talking like that? Nobody talks like that. Nobody has a regular ass conversation with, like, it's just so fake. Like, they were so fake about the whole fucking thing.
They were like, they were like putting on a show.
Nothing was themselves. They were not themselves.
They didn't know who they were.
They had no idea, and they decided to take somebody's life for it.
So about 15 minutes after they left, they returned. They re-entered the house and crept into the basement. I was always a little confused about this because I was like, did they leave a door in the basement unlocked or a back door? But either way, they got back into the house and into the basement unnoticed. While they were in the basement, they cut the power off at the circuit breaker. So they just switched the fucking switches. Okay, yeah. Hoping Cassie and Matt would come downstairs to investigate. I guess that's when they would ambush them. Mm-hmm. But instead of lurking down there, instead of luring them down, the stunt just terrified them. Even the dog started growling at the basement door. So they were like, we ain't going down there. And eventually the lights did come back on and nothing happened. And it all happened quickly, though, because the transcripts are them in like 9:50 to 9:55 sitting in their car. Mm-hmm. And Matt Beckham gets picked up at 10:30.
Oh, wow.
So Matt's mom was scheduled, like I said, to pick him up at 10:30. Yeah. But before leaving, or I guess before his mom got there, he called her and asked if he could stay the night at the uncle's with Cassie because she was scared. And I think he told her about the lights, and she said, she's a mom, her son's 16, they've been dating for 5 months, they're going to be unsupervised. She understandably says no, but she said that Cassie could come and sleep over their house and she would drop them back off at the aunt and uncle's in the morning. But Cassie felt like it was her responsibility to stay at her uncle's house no matter how uneasy she felt.
Yeah.
Which obviously her uncle would not have wanted her to do that.
No. And also, and it's
the dogs would have been fine sleeping alone.
Absolutely.
I don't get that.
Are so fine sleeping.
So fine sleeping. And if they don't get a night of sleep, what do they got, a job in the morning?
Literally. What's the worst you're going to do? Pick up pee? And
truly.
I think it's so crazy that, like, that was such a good example of, like, when you don't listen to your gut feeling. When you have a gut feeling that's screaming at you to not be somewhere, and then you fight it, and, like, that takes your life. I mean, I feel like that's happened so many times where you hear the stories of, like, somebody got the gut feeling not to go on to, like, the Titanic, or somebody got the gut feeling, like, and it's just like
9/11
screams at 9/11 screams at your soul to stay home that day.
Always listen to your intuition.
Always. If you feel like you're really having a hard time battling your inner gut to go somewhere or go do something or stay somewhere, just listen to it. Because what's the worst that happens? I guess I shouldn't have done that. Or, that's the worst that's going to happen.
Or, exactly.
It's going to be a blip in your life and you're never going to remember it. But you know what? Something tragic happens. That's going to be something that's never forgotten.
No. So, at around 10:30 p.m., Matt was picked up by his mother, leaving Cassie completely alone.
That's so sad.
That's when Draper and Adamsick cut the lights again, plunging the house into darkness. And this time they started making their way upstairs. So police would later recover a chilling recording Draper and Adamsick made after leaving the house. While Cassie was bleeding to death on the floor of the family room, they literally bragged about what they had just done on camera.
Yeah.
The autopsy revealed Cassie had been stabbed 30 times with 2 different knives. Out of those 30 wounds, 12 of them were potentially fatal. One of the knives, a serrated blade, caused 11 of those 12 fatal injuries, and the other knife, non-serrated, was responsible for the one other fatal wound. Cassie fought hard, but her body wouldn't be discovered for another 36 hours.
Oh my gosh.
In an interview, Cassie's mom remembered calling her that Friday night. Cassie told her she was fine, that she and Matt were watching movies. She then tried to call again the next day, but life got busy, and she never thought her daughter wouldn't call her back.
What about her boyfriend?
I have a lot of feelings about why a 16-year-old was left completely uncontacted for a full day while house sitting in a house by herself. I did see that...
Yeah, that it took 36 hours.
The people to come home?
Yeah. Or for her to get discovered. Like, how is there no, like...
I mean, listen, I
Within
didn't.
5 hours, I would have sent somebody, and I'm like, that's. I mean, that's neither here nor there, because that was her family. Her family figured that she was okay and that she was fine and she was off doing whatever.
No, she's 16.
But yeah, she like that's I would not have been able to live with like being uncontacted by my own kid.
No.
And at that point, there's cell phones, you know what I mean?
And the
like,
fact that her boyfriend didn't, I mean, I don't know if I saw anything where the boyfriend said, like,
I was literally
he called, but he knew she was scared the night before and
so
didn't
you're
call
not
to
gonna
check
go
on her.
over the, and you're not even gonna go.
And your
over
mom's
there?
not even gonna suggest you go over there?
Yeah, like what the fuck is that?
When Cassie's body was discovered, police jumped on the case immediately. And yes, they were discovered. Cassie. They were notified by Cassie's aunt and uncle.
Yeah.
So there was like
because they came home from their family
horrific,
vacation. That's how she was found.
Like 911 call. I think it's.
Sure.
I don't know if it's a woman's voice. I don't know if it's the daughter or the mom. Just calling about like this happening. Or finding her body. She was obviously dead on the scene. Dead, DOA, dead on arrival. So naturally, the police looked at Matt Beckham first. He was the boyfriend. He was confirmed to be there that night, and people remembered him at the house. He even came across a little cold and detached when police told him Cassie had been murdered, but after taking and passing a polygraph, he was cleared.
That was the boyfriend?
That's the boyfriend. But before leaving the station, Matt mentioned something that would blow the case wide open. His friends Brian Draper and Tori Adamsick had been there too and left shortly before he did.
Yeah.
Now listen, he's a stupid, potentially 16-year-old guy who's like, oh, like who would have done this? My friends had already left.
Yeah.
And it's like, he didn't really give any information and maybe they weren't asking the right questions, but thankfully he did give that up.
Yeah.
So police brought in Draper and Adamsick that night. Both boys claimed they left Cassie's around 9:45 p.m. to catch a movie, so they did leave at 9:45 p.m. And they said they missed the show they wanted, so they saw Pulse instead. Only they couldn't remember a single detail about the fucking movie. And when police checked with a classmate working concessions that night, they learned the truth. The boys were never there.
Yeah.
Classmate was adamant she didn't see them.
Yeah.
So confronted with this, Draper cracked first. First, he admitted they had lied. He said, we didn't go to the movies, but we were driving around robbing cars and I didn't want to get in trouble. But he couldn't provide any details and kept blaming Adamsick. Like, they were like, where did you go? What street did you go? What kind of cars? Oh, I don't remember. Tori was driving around and, you know, blah, blah, blah. I was just going with the flow. Okay. Like, they suck. They suck at lying.
Yeah.
And so by his third interview with his parents in the room, Draper finally admitted to the murder, driving Adamsick down with him, but really throwing Adamsick under the bus. He tried to paint himself as reluctant, saying he thought Adamsick was joking the whole time until he saw him actually stabbing Cassie. Draper admitted that the two went back inside with scary Halloween masks and the murder weapons. He confessed they cut the lights, hoping to scare the couple. By his fourth interview, this time without his parents present, Draper admitted to stabbing Cassie himself, so 4 times in the legs and chest. And when police asked him if he did it out of fear that Adamsick would hurt him if he didn't, he kind of like nodded. So later, Draper would try to get this interview thrown out, arguing it didn't count since he was a minor and didn't have his parents there. In the transcript, police claimed that they did try to get in touch with them, and then, you know, when they did sit down with him, they read him his Miranda rights again, asked him if he wanted a lawyer, but I don't know. I mean, it's kind of hard, but either way, honestly, I don't even feel like they needed this confession.
No, they definitely didn't need the confession. I mean, it was on the fucking tapes. It's right there, right?
It's right there. Well, I'm going to get into that.
Okay, yeah.
So during his third interview, which was September 27th, 2006, so the police were moving.
Yeah.
Because this happened on the 22nd, and she was found on the 24th.
Yep.
When Draper finally broke, he led police, along with his father, to Black Rock Canyon, a park not far from town where him and Adamsick had tried to burn and bury the evidence. So police found a fuck ton of stuff that they tried to bury. There's a lot. I wasn't going to read everything, but I guess I'll just read everything. No, I'm not going to read everything. It's a lot. But I'll tell you the important stuff.
Yeah.
So they found like a multicolored mask. They found a large dagger type knife with a sheath. They found a small dagger type knife with a sheath. Yes. So they found a Sony videotape, and this would be later repaired and transcribed. A black handled serrated folding knife. Later DNA testing revealed that Stoddart's blood was present on the knife. Another red and white mask that had partial DNA profile of Adamsick on it.
And this was Brian that sent them to this location?
Yeah, he brought them there.
Yeah.
A single black glove that had partial DNA from an unknown male. A pair of partially burned black Puma gloves that were DNA testing revealed that Stoddart's blood had soaked in these gloves.
Wow.
A Calvin Klein black dress shirt. Later DNA testing revealed that Stoddart's blood was present on the cuff, and several other things were also found that are, I mean, not that they're not relevant. Obviously, they were relevant because for some reason or another they tried to burn all of this. And so when they found the tape, they were like, "Fuck, like this is burnt." But you know, those 2006 experts, they were able to repair it. And thank God they did, because those recordings reveal just how twisted Draper and Adam Sick's fantasy really was.
It really was. I can't believe they were able to get that leaked. It was actually
I know,
insane.
it's actually crazy.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the tapes. So on the day of the murders, the boys filmed themselves walking around school, laughing, joking, even recording Cassie.
Yeah.
Knowing they fully intended to kill her later that night.
And they're like so friendly with her too.
They went up to her locker.
Crazy.
Hi, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. Like all this bullshit.
Yep.
So that afternoon during fourth period in school library, they were skipping class. They set up the camera and filmed themselves making a death list of classmates. So they like set it up. They were like crouched a little bit in front of it while sitting on a table, talking about it, looking directly in the screen. And they actually debated like how to carry out these killings, whether to stage a mass shooting or do it the Scream way. But in one particular disturbing clip, Draper looks straight at the camera and says, "Sorry to Cassie and sorry to her family, but someone has to be sacrificed."
That's crazy.
Later recordings captured them bragging about leaving Cassie's house, which I think I mentioned earlier, high on adrenaline, laughing about how quick all it was, and already spitballing what lies they tell police. And Adam Sick, so he, and I think I mentioned this, like, puts all the blame on Draper. Him and his family blame Draper 100%.
Yeah.
At one point he says the thought of killing them that makes him horny.
Literally. Yeah. No, that was what's so annoying, was that he was the one that was like, so like he really tried to paint himself as it was like he was the victim of Tori, was it? What's that? Is that what his name is?
Tori, yeah.
He tried to paint himself the victim of that, of him. That's the same guy, right?
Tori, Adam Sick, they kind of do it to each other.
Yeah.
Like Brian Draper was like, he made me do it. I was reluctant.
Yeah,
I thought
that's
it was
what I remember
game.
getting.
And then
that
he
a
says
lot.
the same thing.
Yeah.
And his family is adamant about it. And even though Brian Draper seems to have like come forward and talk, I didn't find anything on Tori Adam Sick talking.
Are they both still in jail?
So, the trials. Draper and Adam Sick were tried separately for first-degree murder. Both were found guilty, and both were sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, motherfucker.
Very good.
Throughout the trials, they blamed each other. Draper claimed Adam Sick was the ringleader. Adam Sick and his family insisted it was Draper. But if you actually read the transcripts, it's obvious both of them are equally into it.
Absolutely.
Even to this day, they keep pointing fingers in their appeals. So Adam Sick has appealed at least 3 times, 2012, 2017, and recently as between 2019 and 2022. I think it was like ongoing. Draper appealed in 2011, claiming his sentence was cruel and unusual punishment.
Okay.
Which is crazy to me.
Okay.
Neither of them have gotten anywhere.
Yeah.
They think it was like cruel and unusual punishment for like being sentenced to life without the possibility of parole, which is crazy because you murdered somebody.
Yeah, that's wild. You're still alive, and
you're still alive. So on the night of her murder, Cassie was just doing what many of us did as teens, house sitting for family, watching movies with her boyfriend, being responsible. Whispering close to the neighborhood where her uncle lived wasn't the kind of place where anyone expected violence.
Yeah.
But that night, Draper and Adam Sick made it their personal horror movie, and Cassie Jo Stoddart, a smart, kind, artistic 16-year-old, became their victim.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that is the sick, twisted story of the murder of Cassie Jo Stoddart. And
I fucking hate those two boys.
Brian
literally.
Draper and Tori Adam Sick. Stupid fucking name, Tori. I kept calling him Adam in my head too, because he has like, why do you have a first name, last name?
Yeah, those are actually horrendous.
No, it's horrendous.
Because how am I supposed to remember who you are? Like, I feel like you're giving me 2 aliases.
Your aliases. So I felt like that was a good story to do because it's inspired by Scream. That was a really good
story to do.
Scream is one of my favorite horror movies. Obviously, it's one of millions of people's favorite horror movies. It's beautifully done. It's scary. I love Wes Craven. But those guys are pieces of shit.
No, they're pieces of shit for sure. Yeah, no, it was an amazing story. You did a really great job, like talking about it and talking about
Cassie.
Thank you. I kept wanting to say Casey in my head.
No,
because like it's just one of those names. It's
Casey,
like Casey
Anthony.
or Casey. But no, you did an amazing job. I think it was really good too, because we got to talk a little bit about the Minneapolis shooting that happened recently too.
Yes.
And like how that affects people, and how obviously like our hearts are with everybody that's affected by that, but
Absolutely.
also
Like a shooting or a mass attack like that,
it's just like on children. It's like you're literally like, what the fuck?
The like vibrations like of how
Yeah.
far stuff like that hits, especially in the US, and
It's
just
insane.
how we still don't have any like firm,
Oh my god, can you believe that people in like England stab each other still?
because they don't have guns.
Yeah, they just stab. They go around stabbing each other.
Amazing.
Like gang
they
wars
should,
are stabbing.
because I think you're a bitch if you shoot.
You know what?
You need to go up and look your victim in the eye
and get some of their blood on your hands.
You want respect? A stab or a strangle?
Absolutely. I saw a video of this guy that was running away from, like, he was like in a gang, and I guess he had a hit on himself or whatever. And he like jumps back in the car after getting like a fucking Uber, and the guy's like, Uncle, I got stabbed. Uncle, I got stabbed.
Oh,
They
we're
stabbed
British?
me, uncle. Yeah.
Amazing.
British, yeah.
British people don't have real gangs.
No, it was very interesting to watch that.
They're
'Cause
so
it was like today's day and age, but it just felt so
old school. So 90s.
So
80s.
40s.
Hey there, how you doing?
Uncle, they stabbed me.
They stabbed me, uncle.
But no, you did a really great job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Dude, I'm so happy I was finally able to listen to one of your stories. You do such an amazing job when you talk about any of your cases.
Murder,
mystery, mayhem.
Thank you. It was interesting to research. There's actually a decent amount of stuff out online.
Yeah.
I was able to read the 2011 transcript on like Idaho Journal. I listened to the part of the Morbid podcast on it. They also had to, like, the way they talk about these two guys was so funny. Like, they were like, I fucking hate them. And I read a lot of articles and stuff on them, and it was just interesting to see, like, also just so many other people, like her uncle, like, coming out and talking about how traumatized him and his family are, her brother coming out and eventually saying
because
that.
I never heard about how he struggled so hard with trying to get away from that house. It's like,
I mean, I know I didn't
he's stuck with.
I sadly didn't look like now. Like, obviously that was almost 10 years ago, so I do hope that they got out. But her mother did unfortunately pass away from cancer. Wow. I mean, horrible that it did happen, but it's also, at least she got to see the justice of those two, because they were convicted
a lot
in
of times
2000.
that doesn't really happen when it comes to, and it's crazy how that's like a lot of people's stories.
What I think is that when Draper had led them to the evidence, they had thought that they had burned everything so well that at least the recordings were done.
Yeah.
Because then the blaming each other's thing could have gone back and forth without those freaking recordings.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so true.
Like, they were truly obsessed. They would film everything and like, hey, that's kind of cool, but like not when they were doing it.
No. I remember like YouTube back in the day was like everybody's like thing. Everybody wanted to record everything. Crazy enough, you see like videos that you post on people's like Facebook timelines, and now you watch them and they're like pixelated.
It's
so
impossible
like,
to see
what
them.
happened.
It's horrible. It's like,
how did this
it's like sim stalking.
Yeah. And with that, we'll be catching you guys in the shadows.
Stay ghouly.